Mark Ellison walked into the Chevrolet dealership on a snowy December afternoon in Denver, the kind of afternoon when holiday music echoed softly through every store, and people hurried inside to escape the cold. Mark didn't look like the type of customer dealerships usually gave priority to. His jeans were faded. His jacket was old but durable, and his work boots still carried dust from the construction site he had left only an hour earlier. He didn't care about appearances. He cared about purpose. And today's purpose was his daughter, Lily. Lily had left for UCLA 3 months ago, chasing her dream of becoming an architectural engineer. Mark remembered the day he dropped her off at the bus station because they couldn't afford a car yet. She had smiled and told him, "Dad, one day I'll design buildings you'll be proud of." That sentence stayed with him, replaying again and again until he made up his mind. She deserved a Christmas gift that would change her life. And so he was here. But as soon as he stepped inside the dealership, 2 young salesmen near the reception desk glanced at him, smirked and whispered. "Looks like he's in the wrong place," one murmured. The other added, "Probably wants the cheapest used thing we've got." Their laughter was quiet, but sharp enough to be heard. Mark ignored them. He had spent 25 years running heavy machinery and working with crews across the state. Nothing about judgment or stereotypes could shake him. He simply walked toward the row of brand-new SUVs, stopping in front of the metallic blue Chevy Trailblazer he had seen Lily admire online countless times. He opened the door gently, studying the interior, imagining his daughter's reaction. A senior saleswoman who had been observing from across the showroom noticed the behavior of the 2 young men. She approached Mark with genuine professionalism. "Welcome, sir. Is there anything I can help you with today?" "Yes," he replied calmly. "I'm buying this car for my daughter's Christmas gift." The 2 young salesmen burst into quiet laughter again. "Right, sure," one muttered sarcastically. But Mark didn't even turn his head. He asked the saleswoman, "Does this model come fully loaded? Safety package, lane assist? All of that?" "Yes, sir. Everything included." "We can go over financing options." Mark raised a hand politely. "No financing? I'll pay cash." The laughter behind him suddenly stopped, and the entire showroom went quiet, as if someone had hit a mute button. Mark simply stood there, steady, calm, and completely serious. And for the first time, every eye in the dealership was on him, not with mockery, but with shock. The senior saleswoman paused, trying to make sure she had heard him correctly. Customers often said they would pay in cash, but it was usually an exaggeration or misunderstanding. Yet Mark's tone was steady, unshaken. "Cash?" she repeated. "For the full amount?" Mark nodded and reached into his jacket pocket. Instead of pulling out a wallet, he took out a thick, sealed envelope, the kind banks use for certified funds. He unfolded it calmly, revealing multiple cashier's checks totaling the full price of the Trailblazer. The 2 young salesmen who had laughed just minutes earlier went quiet, their faces draining of color as they watched. The sales manager noticed the sudden shift in the room and rushed over with an overly enthusiastic smile. "Sir, we'd be happy to assist you. Please follow me to my office. We'll process everything right away." He shot a glare at the 2 salesmen, a silent warning that their behavior had cost them a major commission. Mark followed the manager, not because he needed validation, but because he wanted the transaction to be handled smoothly. Inside the office, holiday decorations hung around the desk, and a small artificial Christmas tree blinked softly in the corner. As the paperwork began, the saleswoman who had helped him asked gently, "Sir, may I ask what inspired such a generous gift?" Mark's expression softened. "When Lily left for college, she took a bus alone at 6 a.m., he said quietly. "She told me not to worry, but all I did was worry. I promised myself that someday she'd have something reliable, something safe. She's worked hard her entire life. She deserves this." The paperwork took nearly an hour. The dealership staff prepared the SUV for delivery, adding a giant red Christmas bow on the hood and detailing the interior until it sparkled. When Mark stepped outside, the same 2 salesmen stood awkwardly to the side, unable to meet his eyes. He didn't confront them. He simply nodded once, calm, controlled, dignified. His silence was louder than any lecture. Driving the SUV to Los Angeles took him nearly 16 hours. Mark didn't care. He wanted to arrive before sunrise. When he finally pulled up outside Lily's apartment building, the sky was still dark and Christmas morning had just begun. Lily stepped outside in slippers and a sweater, confused, until she saw the blue trailblazer and the giant bow. Her hands flew to her mouth. "Dad, is this real?" Mark opened his arms. "Merry Christmas, sweetheart." She ran to him, crying, hugging him as if she were 9 years old again. And in that moment, Mark realized that every mile, every tired hour, every judgment he endured had been worth it.